Across the endless, shimmering plains of Africa, the lion reigns as the sovereign of the savannah, its presence woven into the very fabric of the wild. These formidable predators, each weighing up to 400 pounds, are sculpted by evolution for dominance on the ground, muscles rippling beneath tawny coats, every movement a testament to their strength. Their bodies are engineered for the chase, explosive sprints, calculated stalks through whispering grass, and the relentless patrol of vast sunlit territories. Traditionally, the art of climbing is foreign to them, their immense frames more suited to the earth than the branches above. The treetops are the domain of the leopard, nimble, solitary, and perfectly adapted for life aloft. Yet, in the heart of Uganda, where the savannah meets lush woodland, a remarkable phenomenon unfolds. Here, the boundaries of lion behavior are redrawn, and a new chapter in their story emerges. In this singular landscape, entire prides have embraced an arboreal existence, transforming the trees into sanctuaries and vantage points. The sight of a lion, limbs draped over a sturdy branch, is both astonishing and mesmerizing, a living paradox in the wild. Unlike the rare, frantic climbs seen elsewhere, brief escapes from danger, these lions ascend with purpose and confidence, making the trees their second home. In the mosaic of Queen Elizabeth National Park, they spend long hours sprawled across the boughs of ancient fig and euphorbia trees, suspended high above the earth. Here, they doze in the dappled shade, their bodies entwined in sleep, or engage in gentle play, their paws batting at leaves and each other. From these lofty perches, they survey the world below, their golden eyes scanning the horizon for movement, prey, rivals, or the subtle changes of the land. Camouflaged among the leaves, they become phantoms in the canopy, their presence revealed only by a flick of tail or the glint of an eye. The reasons for this extraordinary adaptation remain shrouded in mystery, a puzzle that continues to intrigue those who observe from afar. Some suggest the branches offer respite from the searing heat radiating from the ground, a cool haven in the sweltering afternoon. Others believe the elevation protects them from relentless swarms of biting tsetse flies which hover closer to the earth and torment those who remain below. The trees may also serve as natural watchtowers, granting these lions a strategic advantage in spotting prey or detecting the approach of danger. From above, they can monitor the movements of hyenas and other predators, safeguarding their young and their territory. This remarkable behavior is not instinct alone. It is a tradition, learned and refined, passed from mother to cub in a silent education among the branches. Over generations, these lions have become masters of balance and agility, adapting their powerful bodies to a world that stretches both outward and upward. For a creature of such mass, the act of climbing a towering fig is a feat of strength and daring, each ascent a display of raw power and calculated risk. The trees themselves bear witness, their bark etched with deep claw marks, silent signatures of the lion's passage, a living record of this unique adaptation. These lions have unlocked a secret skill, one that distinguishes them from all others and adds a new dimension to the legend of their species. Their presence in the branches is a living testament to nature's boundless adaptability, a reminder that the wild is ever-changing and full of surprises. Witnessing a lioness, her muscular form draped in tranquil repose over a thick branch, is to see the unexpected beauty of evolution in action. Often she is not alone. Her sisters join her, their bodies pressed together in a display of unity and trust, high above the world below. Below, cubs clamber and scramble, their first attempts at climbing marked by awkward leaps and determined persistence. Again and again, they tumble and try. Learning the secrets of the trees through trial and error, their play a rehearsal for survival. This is their world, a vertical kingdom layered above the horizontal sweep of the savannah, a realm where the rules of the wild are rewritten. To truly understand these lions, one must look skyward, into the leafy labyrinth where they rest, dream, and watch the world unfold. Their story is one of close-knit family bonds, of daring feats and quiet moments, of survival and loss played out in the sheltering arms of the trees. In the end, the saga of Uganda's tree-climbing lions is a window into the delicate balance of life, a tale of adaptation, resilience, and the enduring mysteries that still linger in the wild heart of Africa. Our story unfolds in the heart of Africa, in southwestern Uganda, where the land seems to breathe with life at every turn. Here, the landscape is a living tapestry, rolling savannas stretched to the horizon, punctuated by ancient woodlands and shimmering lakes that catch the first light of dawn. Queen Elizabeth National Park is a mosaic of habitats, open grasslands, dense forests, and papyrus-fringed wetlands. Each ecosystem supports a unique cast of creatures, from the smallest insects to the largest mammals, all thriving in this Eden-like sanctuary. Bordering the Democratic Republic of Congo and the legendary Virunga National Park, this region forms a vital corridor for wildlife. Herds of antelope and buffalo migrate freely, following ancient routes that have shaped the land for millennia. At sunrise, the park is transformed. Golden light spills across the savanna, illuminating a world teeming with life. Elephants browsing beneath acacias, flocks of crowned cranes rising from the grass, and the distant roar of a lion echoing through the stillness. The Kasenyi Channel, a natural artery connecting Lake Edward and Lake George, draws a spectacular congregation of wildlife. Hippos wallow in the cool waters, crocodiles patrol the shallows, and elephants gather to drink, their trunks raised in greeting to the dawn. This abundance creates a dynamic stage for the eternal dance of predator and prey. Herds of topi and kob graze warily, ever watchful for the pride of lions that stalk the tall grasses, perfectly camouflaged in the golden light. The park's richness is not limited to its large mammals. Wildflowers bloom in bursts of colour, attracting clouds of butterflies and bees. Towering termite mounds provide shelter for reptiles and birds, while the undergrowth teems with life, from chameleons to dung beetles. The forests are alive with sound and movement. Troops of colobus monkeys leap between branches, hornbills call from the treetops, and leopards slip silently through the shadows, all part of the intricate web that sustains this Eden. Here there are no barriers, no fences to confine the wild. Animals roam as they have for centuries, their movements shaping the land and the lives of all who dwell within it. The seamless transition between habitats allows for extraordinary adaptations. Elephants carve paths through the grasslands, while lions use the cover of the savanna to approach their prey with silent precision. For the lions, this environment is both a paradise and a challenge. The abundance of prey is matched by the need for cunning and cooperation. Lionesses teach their cubs to stalk and ambush, using every feature of the landscape to their advantage. Nowhere is this adaptation more remarkable than in the park's most iconic residents, the tree-climbing lions. In the southern sector of Ishasha, giant sycamore fig trees dominate the horizon, their broad branches offering sanctuary from the heat and biting insects below. These lions have mastered the art of climbing. With powerful limbs and sharp claws, they ascend into the canopy, where they rest in the dappled shade, safe from the swarming tsetse flies and able to survey the savanna for miles around. In the north, around Kasenyi, the lions have adapted to a different challenge. Here, the landscape is dotted with candelabra euphorbia trees, strange cactus-like giants whose toxic latex deters most animals but not the lions. Unfazed by the poisonous sap, the lions climb these trees with practiced ease, finding refuge high above the ground. This unique behavior is a testament to their resilience and ingenuity, shaped by the demands of their extraordinary home. Every element of this Eden-like environment, from the smallest flower to the tallest tree, plays a role in the lives of the lions. Their survival depends on a delicate balance, a constant interplay between predator, prey, and the land itself. In this crucible of evolution, the lions are both shaped by and shapers of their world. Their presence influences the movements of herds, the growth of vegetation, and the very rhythm of life in the park. This is their unlikely Eden, a place of beauty, danger, and endless possibility. Here, the lions have learned not just to survive, but to thrive in one of Africa's most remarkable landscapes. Deep within the sprawling expanse of Queen Elizabeth National Park, two distinct dynasties of tree-climbing lions have carved out their own realms. Each pride occupies a unique territory, shaped by the landscape and the daily rhythms of survival, and each has developed its own intricate social structure and behavioral patterns. In the south, the Ishasha sector is defined by its ancient sycamore fig trees, whose immense branches stretch skyward, forming a labyrinth of shade and shelter. Here the lions have adapted to a life above ground, spending the hottest hours of the day sprawled across the cool, broad limbs. The figs not only provide relief from the relentless equatorial sun, but also a vantage point to survey the open plains for prey and potential threats. The daily life of the Ishasha pride is a delicate balance of rest, vigilance, and play as they navigate the complex web of family bonds and territorial boundaries. At the heart of this pride is a trio of young lions: Jacob, a male just beginning to grow his mane, and his sisters, Jessica and Natreenda. Their days are spent in close proximity, grooming one another, reinforcing social ties, and practicing the skills that will one day determine their survival. Jacob, though still youthful, is already showing signs of the assertiveness required to defend territory, often scent-marking the base of favoured trees and patrolling the periphery of their domain. As dusk approaches, the pride becomes more active. The sisters slip silently from the trees, their golden coats blending with the tall grasses as they stalk herds of cob and buffalo. Each hunt is a lesson in patience and cooperation, with the young lions learning to read each other's subtle cues. The Ishasha pride's territory is fiercely defended, with scent marks and roaring duels at the boundaries, ensuring that rival lions and opportunistic hyenas keep their distance. Climbing is not just a means of escape or comfort, it is a daily ritual. The lions hone their balance and strength, leaping from branch to branch, sometimes playfully wrestling high above the ground. Cubs are taught from an early age to navigate the heights, their tentative first climbs watched closely by the adults. This arboreal lifestyle is a defining trait, setting the Ishasha lions apart from their savanna-dwelling cousins elsewhere in Africa. Further north, the landscape transforms. The Kasenyi sector is dominated by the stark silhouettes of candelabra euphorbia trees, their toxic, angular branches rising from the savanna like natural fortresses. The lions here have adapted to a harsher environment, where shade is scarce and the trees themselves exude a milky, poisonous sap. Yet, the Kasenyi pride has mastered the art of climbing these formidable trees, using them as both lookout posts and sanctuaries from biting insects and the midday heat. The Kasenyi lions' resilience is evident in their daily routines. They move with practiced ease among the euphorbia's thorny branches, their paws finding purchase where few other animals dare to tread. This adaptation not only provides safety, but also a strategic advantage, allowing them to observe the movements of prey and rivals across the open plains. The pride itself is a model of matriarchal cooperation, led by three experienced sisters, Murungi, Bridget and Kogiri. The Kasenyi lions operate as a tightly knit unit. Each lioness brings her own strengths to the group, whether in hunting, nurturing cubs, or defending the pride's territory. Their days are punctuated by coordinated hunts, communal grooming sessions, and the constant vigilance required to protect their young from leopards and other predators. The pride's nursery is a hive of activity. 8 cubs of varying ages tumble and play among the branches, their antics watched over by the ever-attentive lionesses. Play is more than mere entertainment. It is essential training, teaching the cubs the skills of stalking, pouncing, and climbing that will one day make them formidable hunters. Murungi's 2 youngest cubs, just 6 weeks old, are still unsteady on their paws, clinging to their mother as she navigates the branches. Their world is confined to the safety of the tree, where they are shielded from the dangers lurking below. Bridget, easily identified by her radio collar, is equally attentive to her own 2 cubs. She leads them through the daily routines of feeding and grooming, ensuring they are well cared for and integrated into the pride's social fabric. Kugeri, the pride's most accomplished hunter, is responsible for 4 slightly older cubs. At 5 months, they are already beginning to join the adults on short forays, learning to track prey and avoid danger under her watchful eye. The communal nursery is a testament to the power of cooperation. By pooling their resources and sharing the responsibilities of motherhood, the lionesses ensure that every cub has the best chance of survival. In the tangled, toxic embrace of the euphorbia trees, the next generation of Kasenyi lions is nurtured and protected, ready to inherit the legacy of their remarkable pride. In the heart of the African savannah, survival is a relentless test of strength, instinct, and adaptability. Even for a lioness, one of nature's most formidable hunters, danger can arrive without warning, threatening to unravel the delicate balance of life. For a young lioness named Naturenda, disaster struck in the form of a wire snare, an indiscriminate trap set for bushmeat that ensnared her around the head. The wire, nearly invisible in the tall grass, became a deadly noose as she fought to free herself. In her desperate struggle, the snare tightened, slicing deep into her flesh and blinding her in one eye. The pain was excruciating, but Naturyenda's will to survive was fierce. She retreated from the pride, instinctively seeking isolation to avoid drawing predators or rivals to her weakened state. Alone, she faced a gauntlet of challenges. Every movement was agony, and the risk of infection grew with each passing hour. She could no longer rely on the pride for protection or the cooperative hunting that ensured regular meals. Instead, she was forced to rely on her own instincts, moving under cover of darkness, drinking cautiously at waterholes, and resting in the shade to conserve energy. Despite her injuries, Naturenda managed to climb into the safety of a fig tree, a rare feat for a lioness in such a weakened state. The tree offered a vantage point to watch for threats and a refuge from hyenas and other scavengers that might sense her vulnerability. High above the ground, she endured the elements, scorching sun, biting insects, and the chill of night. She licked her wounds, instinctively trying to keep them clean, but the risk of infection was ever present. Each day was a battle against hunger, dehydration, and the relentless pain that threatened to sap her will. Hunting was nearly impossible. With her vision impaired and her strength fading, she missed opportunities to ambush prey. Each failed attempt cost her precious energy, and the risk of starvation loomed ever larger. The savannah is unforgiving to the weak. Naturenda's senses remained on high alert. Every distant roar, every cackle of hyenas, every shadow overhead was a potential threat. She relied on camouflage and stillness, blending into the landscape to avoid detection. To survive, she scavenged what she could, gnawing on old bones, drinking from muddy puddles, and eating whatever scraps she could find. Every small victory was hard-won, a testament to her resilience and the primal drive to endure. Through it all, Naturenda's survival strategies were simple but effective. Conserve energy, avoid unnecessary risks, and use every ounce of instinct to stay alive. She rested often, moving only when absolutely necessary, and remained ever vigilant for both danger and opportunity. Against all odds, Naturenda's determination began to pay off. With time, her wounds started to heal, and her strength slowly returned. Each day she survived was a triumph, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the wild lioness. The savannah is a place of constant challenge, but also of remarkable resilience. Naturenda's struggle was not just for her own life, but for the future of her pride. Every step she took, every breath she drew, was a victory over the odds, a living symbol of survival in one of the world's most unforgiving landscapes. In saving herself, Naturenda preserved the hope of future generations. Her story is a powerful reminder of the challenges faced by Africa's lions and the extraordinary strategies they employ to survive against all odds. For Uganda's tree-climbing lions, the mastery of the treetops is not a birthright, but a hard-won skill, painstakingly acquired through observation, imitation, and relentless practice. The savannah itself becomes a living classroom, where every tree is a lesson and every branch a test. Here, the experienced adults, mothers, aunts, and older siblings serve as both mentors and role models, their every movement watched by eager young eyes. Within the northern Kasenyi pride, the education of the youngest members unfolds in a series of subtle yet profound interactions. The cubs are not simply passive observers, they are active participants in a daily drama of learning and adaptation. Murungi's two cubs, barely 6 weeks old, approach the base of a towering euphorbia tree for their first lesson. Their eyes are wide with curiosity, their bodies trembling with anticipation and uncertainty. Their mother, with the effortless grace of experience, ascends the tree, her powerful muscles rippling beneath her tawny coat. She pauses on a sturdy branch, glancing down with a gentle, encouraging gaze, as if inviting her cubs to follow. The cubs, driven by a deep instinct to remain close to their mother, stretch upwards, their tiny claws extended. The bark is rough and unyielding, and their first attempts are clumsy. Paws slipping, bodies sliding back to the earth. Each attempt is a lesson in physics and perseverance. The cubs learn to judge the angle of their leap, the placement of their paws, and the subtle balance between strength and caution. Failure is frequent, but so too is determination. One cub, emboldened by a moment of confidence, launches itself upward, only to lose its grip and tumble gently onto the soft grass below. The fall is harmless, but the lesson is lasting. The treetops demand respect and resilience. After each fall, the cubs pause, gazing up at the branches above. Their minds are busy, processing what went wrong, recalibrating for the next attempt. This is the crucible in which their skills are forged. Play becomes practice. The cubs roll in the grass, wrestling and pouncing, their games mimicking the movements they will need to master the trees. Each playful tumble is a rehearsal for the real challenges ahead. Higher up, Kogiri's older cubs, now 4 or 5 months old, move with growing confidence. Their bodies are stronger, their coordination more refined. They climb with purpose, testing the limits of their agility. These older cubs turn the treetops into a playground, chasing each other along the branches, leaping from limb to limb. Their play is exuberant, but every movement hones the muscles and reflexes they will need for survival. Observation is as vital as action. The cubs watch their mothers and aunts, studying the way they select branches, the subtle shifts in weight, the careful testing of each foothold. Through this constant vigilance, the secrets of the treetops are passed down. The pride's social structure reinforces these lessons. Lionesses gather with their cubs, creating a safe environment where the young can experiment, fail, and try again under the watchful eyes of many guardians. Often, the lionesses synchronize their births, resulting in a nursery of cubs all learning together. This synchrony means that playmates are always available, and the lessons of the treetops are shared among siblings and cousins alike. The pride forms a creche, a communal nursery, where the responsibilities of motherhood are distributed. Here, cubs are cared for by multiple females, each one contributing to the education and safety of the next generation. Within the Kasenyi pride, this cooperative spirit is evident in every interaction. The cubs are never far from a protective adult, and every member of the pride plays a role in their upbringing. When a cub goes missing, the pride's concern is immediate and collective. The adults search the grasslands, their vigilance a testament to the strength of their social bonds. The dangers are real and ever-present. The savannah is a landscape of opportunity and risk, where a moment's inattention can mean disaster for the vulnerable young. A lone cub, separated from the pride, faces threats from rival predators and the unforgiving elements. Survival depends on the lessons learned and the protection of the group. Relief floods the pride when the missing cub is found, safe and unharmed. The reunion is marked by gentle nuzzles and playful pounces, a reaffirmation of the bonds that hold the pride together. Sometimes a cub is not lost at all, but simply spending time with an aunt and her own young. These relationships deepen the cub's social skills and broaden their learning opportunities. The lionesses nurse and groom each other's cubs, blurring the lines of individual motherhood. Every cub is treated as a member of the extended family, and every lesson learned is a shared victory. This cooperative approach to rearing young is a powerful adaptation. It ensures that, even if one mother is away hunting, her cubs remain protected and cared for by others. The cubs benefit from a network of caregivers, each one contributing to their survival and growth. This safety net allows the young lions to focus on learning, playing, and perfecting the skills they will need for life in the trees. In the dappled shade beneath the trees, the pride gathers, cubs sprawled across the grass, lionesses grooming and nuzzling their young. Here, in this sanctuary of family and learning, the next generation of tree-climbing lions is shaped, their lessons written in every leap, every fall, and every triumphant climb into the leafy heights above. The world of the Queen Elizabeth National Park lions is a realm of constant challenge and adaptation. Their territory is a patchwork of open savanna, tangled thickets, and dense woodland, each presenting its own set of obstacles and opportunities for survival. The greatest threats these lions face come not from the outside, but from the very environment they call home. One of the most insidious dangers is the ever-present risk of injury from the unforgiving landscape. A single misstep can mean a thorn embedded deep in a paw or a twisted limb from a chase gone wrong. The hunt itself is fraught with peril. Prey like buffalo and warthogs are not defenseless. They fight back with deadly force. A charging buffalo can break bones or even kill a lion, as the young lioness Naturenda nearly discovered during a failed hunt. Wounds from these encounters can be slow to heal, and infection is a constant threat. As an animal struggles to recover, the wound can worsen, drawing flies and other parasites. If a lion cannot keep up with the pride, it may be left behind, facing starvation or predation. The park is also home to rival lion coalitions, and territorial battles are fierce and unforgiving. When two prides meet, the result can be brutal. Injuries, death, and the loss of cubs are common. Other predators, like hyenas, are always waiting for an opportunity to steal a meal or harass the pride. A pride must constantly defend its hard-won prey from these persistent rivals. Even leopards, though solitary, compete for territory and food, often dragging their kills into trees to avoid the lions below. The ever-watchful eyes of vultures signal the presence of food, drawing in more competitors and increasing the pressure on the pride. For the youngest members, survival is even more precarious. Cubs are vulnerable to starvation, disease, and attacks from rival males or other predators. Mothers must hide their cubs in thick cover, always alert for threats lurking in the shadows. The weather itself can be a formidable adversary. Torrential rains flood the plains, while droughts parch the land and drive prey away. In times of scarcity, the pride must travel great distances in search of water and food, testing their endurance and unity. What begins as a daily struggle for survival can end in triumph or tragedy, shaped by the unpredictable forces of nature. This is the true conflict of the savannah, a relentless contest between predator, prey, and the environment itself. The lions of Queen Elizabeth National Park endure, shaped by the land and the challenges it brings, forever adapting to the wild heart of Africa. They are not just survivors but masters of their domain, living in a delicate balance with the world around them. It is a battle for existence, a fight to find space and sustenance in a world where every day brings new trials and new hope. The Kasenyi pride, a vibrant northern family of 3 closely bonded sisters, was once a symbol of resilience and hope in the savannah. Their territory, marked by the scattered euphorbia trees and golden grasslands, echoed with the sounds of their daily lives, cooperative hunts, nurturing care, and the playful energy of their 8 cubs. For months, the pride thrived. The cubs, under the watchful eyes of their mothers, learned the essential skills of survival. They practiced climbing, their small claws gripping the rough bark as they scrambled up the euphorbia branches, sometimes tumbling down only to try again. The lionesses, each with her own strengths, worked in perfect harmony, one flushing prey from the thickets, another circling to cut off escape, the third waiting in ambush. Their hunts were lessons in patience and precision, and every successful kill was shared among the pride, reinforcing their powerful social bonds. But then, without warning, the rhythm of the savannah was broken. The familiar roars and playful growls faded into silence. The euphorbia trees, once alive with the movement of cubs, stood empty. The grasslands, where the pride's tracks had crisscrossed in the dust, now bore only the faintest traces of their passing. The entire pride had vanished, leaving behind a haunting stillness. The tragedy unfolded in the most natural yet devastating way. The pride, driven by hunger and instinct, had brought down a cow that had wandered into their territory. Unbeknownst to them, the carcass was tainted. The lionesses, following their communal feeding rituals, led their cubs to the kill. As dusk fell, the pride gathered, sharing the meal as they always had. Mothers and cubs side by side, their trust in each other absolute. But this time, the food that sustained them became their undoing. One by one, the lions succumbed, their bodies found scattered near the den and beneath the trees that had sheltered them. The loss was absolute. Murungi, the gentle matriarch, and her 6-week-old cubs, who had only just begun to explore the world, were gone. Kugiri, the pride's most skilled hunter, who could unearth warthogs from their burrows, was lost. Bridget, whose leadership and vigilance had kept the pride safe through countless dangers, perished alongside her young. The older cubs, on the cusp of independence, never had the chance to master the art of hunting or climbing. In a single tragic event, an entire lineage was erased from the landscape. The communal strength that had defined the Kasenyi pride, shared hunts, shared meals, shared care, became their greatest vulnerability. The savannah, once alive with their presence, now stands as a silent testament to the delicate balance of life and death in the wild. The tragedy of the Kasenyi pride is a stark reminder of the natural challenges and fragile dynamics that shape the fate of Africa's lions. In the aftermath of devastation, the African savannah seems to hold its breath. The land, still damp from the night's rain, is eerily quiet, an emptiness where the vibrant chorus of lions once echoed. Yet, beneath this silence, life is quietly, persistently preparing for renewal. The Kasenyi sector, once alive with the presence of a powerful pride, now feels hollow. The loss of 11 lions is not just a blow to the population, it is a rupture in the intricate web of life that binds this ecosystem together. The poisoning of a pride leaves a scar, a void that ripples through the food chain. Prey animals move more freely, but the balance is unsettled. The absence of apex predators is felt in every corner of the savannah. For the lions that remain, survival demands constant vigilance. Every step is measured, every scent on the wind analyzed for danger. The threat of conflict, of unseen poisons, lingers in the air. The future for tree-climbing lions in this region appears uncertain. Each solitary figure is a testament to the struggle for existence, a reminder of the fragility of their world. Yet the savannah is a master of recovery. After fire, after drought, after loss, it finds a way to heal. Life returns in small, almost imperceptible ways. Grass blades piercing the earth, insects buzzing back, birds calling at dawn. Nature's resilience is quiet but relentless. Even as the memory of tragedy lingers, the land is never truly empty. Life seeks to reclaim what was lost, inch by inch. In time, new tracks appear, evidence that the territory is being explored once more. The land, though scarred, is not abandoned. A lone lion drawn by instinct and opportunity begins to investigate the vacant hunting grounds. Each step is a gamble, but also a promise, a chance to start anew. Eventually the new arrival is seen, a powerful lioness, unknown to this region, but undeterred by its haunted past. She is a survivor, shaped by hardship and driven by the need to provide. Her presence signals a turning point for the land, and she is not alone. Trailing behind her is a remarkable sight, a litter of 7 cubs, each one a testament to her resilience and determination. The cubs, full of energy and wonder, explore their new home with cautious excitement. Their play is more than joy, it is practice for the challenges ahead. 7 new lives, each one fragile yet fiercely determined, have arrived to fill the emptiness left behind. Their survival depends on their mother's skill and the bounty of the land. The lioness teaches her cubs the art of survival, how to stalk, how to hide, how to read the wind. Every lesson is vital, every day a test. Their presence is a symbol of hope, a living reminder that even after the darkest night the sun will rise again. Where one dynasty has fallen, another is poised to rise. The cubs' playful climbs and tentative roars are the first notes in a new chapter for the Savannah. This new family is more than a replacement. They are a vital infusion of life, a chance for the ecosystem to regain its balance. The lioness's success in raising such a large litter is a testament to her strength and adaptability. She hunts with precision, nurtures with patience, and defends with unwavering resolve. The territory, now rich with prey, offers this new generation a chance to thrive. The cubs grow stronger with each passing day, their future shaped by the lessons of the past. The dangers that once claimed a pride still linger: scarcity, drought, and the ever-present threat of conflict. But the determination of these lions is unwavering. Even after catastrophic loss, the lion population demonstrates its remarkable ability to adapt, to recolonize, and to continue the ancient cycle of life. The arrival of this new family is a second chance for the land, a new beginning forged from the ashes of tragedy. Their journey is a testament to the resilience of life, a story of survival, adaptation, and hope that continues to unfold beneath the endless African sky. The future of Uganda's tree-climbing lions is written in the shifting patterns of the savannah, in the ancient roots of the fig trees, and in the silent, watchful eyes of the prides that call this place home. Their story is one of remarkable adaptation, of lions who have learned to master the vertical world, turning the branches into both sanctuary and hunting ground. In the cool shade of the canopy, these lions find refuge from the relentless sun and biting insects below. The trees offer a vantage point to survey the grasslands, a place to rest and a haven for their cubs. Here, the next generation learns the delicate art of climbing, their claws gripping bark as they scramble after their mothers, their movements a blend of awkwardness and instinct. The landscape itself is a living tapestry, ever changing with the seasons. After the rains, the savannah bursts into life. Herds of antelope graze beneath the trees, and the lion's world is rich with opportunity. But the dry season brings hardship. Waterholes shrink, prey becomes scarce, and the lions must range farther, their survival balanced on the edge of uncertainty. For the cubs, every day is a lesson in resilience. They learn to navigate the heights, to stalk through the undergrowth, and to heed the subtle signals of their elders. The pride's unity is their greatest strength, each member playing a role in the survival of the whole. Yet the future is not without its challenges. The lion's territory is a patchwork of grassland and woodland, but the boundaries are always shifting. As the climate changes, so too do the patterns of rainfall and vegetation. Droughts may become more frequent, and the delicate balance between predator and prey could be disrupted. The ancient fig trees, so vital to the lion's way of life, face their own threats. Disease, old age, and the slow encroachment of other plant species can reduce the number of safe havens available. Without these giants, the lions would lose their refuge, their nursery, and their lookout. Natural challenges are ever present. Disease can sweep through the prides, and competition with other predators, leopards, hyenas, and even rival lions, can test the limits of their strength and cunning. The lions must remain vigilant, their survival dependent on their ability to adapt to every new threat. But there is hope in the resilience of nature. The lion's story is not one of inevitable decline, but of possibility. As long as the fig trees stand and the savannah endures, there will be a place for these extraordinary animals. Each new cub that learns to climb, each pride that finds safety in the branches, is a testament to the enduring spirit of Uganda's tree-climbing lions. Their future will be shaped by the land itself, by the cycles of rain and drought, by the rise and fall of prey populations, and by the ancient trees that reach skyward, offering sanctuary to those bold enough to climb. In the golden light of dawn, as a lioness stretches along a high branch and her cubs play in the dappled shade below, the promise of the future is written in every movement. The secret life of Uganda's tree-climbing lions continues, fragile, magnificent, and full of hope. Hidden high among the branches, Uganda's tree-climbing lions reveal a side of their nature seldom witnessed, a silent, calculated mastery of the hunt that unfolds in the vertical world above the savannah. While most lions are famed for their power and endurance across open plains, these unique prides have developed a set of hunting strategies that are as elevated as their chosen perches. In the cool, mottled light filtering through the fig leaves, a lioness lies perfectly still, her tawny coat blending seamlessly with the dappled shadows. Below, a herd of unsuspecting antelope grazes, their attention fixed on the grass, not the branches overhead. The lioness watches intently, every muscle coiled for action. Her golden eyes scan the ground, tracking the movement of potential prey with a patience honed by generations of adaptation. Unlike their ground-dwelling cousins, these lions use the height of the trees to their advantage. From their elevated position, they can observe the comings and goings of prey animals beneath, mapping their patterns and waiting for the perfect moment. The branches offer concealment, allowing the lions to remain undetected until the critical instant. When opportunity strikes, the precision of the descent is everything. A lioness will inch forward, claws digging into the rough bark as she lowers herself, careful not to snap a twig or rustle a leaf. Sometimes she may leap directly from the branch, using gravity and surprise to her advantage, landing with explosive force just meters from her quarry. The sudden vertical attack can send prey scattering in confusion, giving the pride a crucial edge in the hunt. Other times, the lions use the trees as staging grounds, dropping silently to the ground before circling around to ambush prey from an unexpected angle. Their movements are a blend of agility and calculation, shaped by the need to conserve energy in a landscape where every meal is hard-won. Young cubs, still learning the art of climbing, practice their skills in play, pouncing on each other from low branches, sharpening both their balance and their predatory instincts. Under the watchful gaze of their elders, they absorb the lessons of patience, stealth, and timing, skills that will one day make the difference between feast and famine. Even in the trees, the hunt is never without risk. A misjudged leap or a slip from a slick branch can mean injury, or worse. But the rewards are great. A successful hunt means food for the pride, and the continuation of a lineage that has learned to thrive where few others dare. In the silent drama of the Canopy, Uganda's lions have become true masters of their environment. Their hunting techniques are a testament not just to their strength, but to their intelligence and adaptability. Here, high above the grasslands, the story of the tree-climbing lions takes on new dimensions. Each hunt a delicate balance of risk and reward, innovation and instinct, played out in the shifting shadows of the ancient fig trees. In the heart of the Ugandan wilderness, communication is key to survival. For the tree-climbing lions of Queen Elizabeth National Park, every movement, every sound carries meaning. Their world is woven together not just by the hunt, but by a complex tapestry of signals and calls, an unspoken language that binds the pride from canopy to forest floor. As dawn breaks, the air vibrates with low, resonant roars, deep bellows that travel for miles across the savannah. These powerful vocalizations are more than just a show of strength. They serve as long-distance messages, declaring territory, calling out to lost pride members, or warning rivals to keep their distance. Each roar, unique in its pattern and tone, acts like a signature, instantly recognizable to those who know how to listen. But the lion's language is not limited to sound. Within the shifting shadows of the fig trees, subtle gestures carry just as much weight. A flick of the ear signals curiosity or caution. A slow blink between two lionesses conveys trust, while a tail held high through the grass is a silent rallying cry for cubs to follow. When danger looms, a sudden freeze, a collective stillness sweeping through the pride, alerts all to the presence of an unseen threat. During the hunt, silent cooperation is crucial. A lioness will crouch low, her body pressed tight to the branch, eyes meeting those of her companions below. With a barely perceptible twitch of her whiskers or a slight tilt of the head, she cues the others to move into position. Even the youngest cubs, still learning the rules, mimic these gestures. They play a rehearsal for the silent teamwork that will one day mean life or death. Close contact brings softer sounds, gentle chuffs, deep purrs, and quiet grunts exchanged in moments of affection or reassurance. Mothers murmur to their cubs, soothing them as they climb or nurse. Siblings greet each other with breathy huffs and nuzzles, reaffirming the bonds that hold the pride together. Through this intricate web of calls and signals, the lions maintain order, coordinate their efforts, and nurture the next generation. In the treetops and on the ground, their communication is a living code, a testament to their intelligence and the deep connections that define lion society. In the silence between roars and the flicker of a tail, the story of Uganda's tree-climbing lions continues, written in a language as old as the savannah itself. As the sun arcs across the Ugandan sky, the landscape below is in constant transformation, a world shaped by the rhythm of the seasons. For the tree-climbing lions of Queen Elizabeth National Park, survival is a matter of adapting to these ever-changing cycles. In the wet season, the savannah awakens in a burst of green. Torrential rains sweep over the plains, turning the dust to mud and coaxing new life from the earth. Grasses grow tall, concealing herds of antelope and buffalo that move with the rains in search of fresh grazing. For the lions, this is a time of abundance but also of challenge. Prey is plentiful, yet harder to spot and stalk through the dense, shimmering undergrowth. The lions climb higher into the fig trees, scanning the flooded grasslands for movement, their golden coats dappled by the shifting sunlight above. The downpours fill the rivers and create temporary pools, watering holes that draw animals from miles around. Here the pride waits in patient silence, their vantage points among the branches offering both safety from the rising waters and a perfect view of the gathering herds. Cubs, still learning the ways of the world, splash through the puddles below, their playful leaps a brief distraction from the lessons of the hunt. But as the rains fade and the dry season settles in, the landscape transforms again. The emerald grass withers to gold, water becomes scarce, and the herds drift away in search of distant springs. Now the lions' world contracts. Their territories shrink around the last remaining waterholes, and competition intensifies. The shade of the trees becomes a refuge from the relentless sun, their branches a cool sanctuary where lions rest through the hottest hours of the day. Hunger sharpens their instincts. The pride must travel farther, sometimes venturing into unfamiliar terrain, following the faint trails left by their prey. In these lean months, every hunt is fraught with risk, and cooperation is more vital than ever. The lions move with quiet determination, reading the parched ground and each other's signals with practiced ease. As the first distant thunderclap signals the return of the rains, hope stirs once more. The pride gathers beneath the swollen clouds, their eyes reflecting the promise of renewal. In this eternal cycle of abundance and scarcity, the lions endure, shaped by the seasons, bound to the land, and forever adapting to the wild heart of Uganda. Through flood and drought, in leaf and in dust, the story of the tree-climbing lions is written not just in the language of their pride, but in the changing face of their home. Across the rolling grasslands and tangled woodlands of Queen Elizabeth National Park, the story of the tree-climbing lions is not one of a single pride, but of many. Here, the Savannah is a tapestry woven from the lives of rival groups and solitary wanderers, each navigating a complex web of alliances, enmities, and uneasy truces. On the edge of the Ishasha sector, two prides trace overlapping territories. Their boundaries are invisible to the human eye, but unmistakable to the lions, marked by scent, by roars in the dusk, by the silent tracks pressed into the dust. When the prides cross paths, the air vibrates with tension. A meeting at a shared waterhole is a cautious dance. Heads low, tails flicking, the older lionesses watching each other through narrowed eyes. Sometimes a snarl or a feint is enough to send one group retreating. Other times, a brief clash flares, muscle against muscle, a blur of claws and teeth before the weaker party yields and the savannah falls silent once more. Within each pride, bonds run deep. Sisters raise cubs together, share the spoils of a hunt, and groom each other in the dappled shade. But these connections are balanced by rivalry. Young males, sensing the shift of power, challenge their elders or slip away under cover of darkness. For these outcasts, life becomes a solitary odyssey. They roam the fringes, avoiding established prides, learning to survive without the safety of numbers. Some are driven by hunger to risk a stolen kill, others by instinct to search for a pride of their own. Occasionally, a lone lioness appears on the horizon, her cubs trailing behind, or perhaps lost to the dangers of the wild. She may approach a pride cautiously, her posture submissive, her intention clear, to join, to belong, to find protection and purpose once more. Acceptance is never guaranteed. The pride must weigh the risk of newcomers against the strength of unity. Sometimes a fragile truce is formed, and the lone lioness is folded into the group. Other times she's driven away, vanishing into the tall grass, her story continuing beyond the reach of the pride's roars. Through these shifting relationships, alliances forged and broken, solitary journeys begun and ended. The lions of Uganda shape the world around them. Each pride, each wanderer is a thread in the ever-changing fabric of the savannah. In the quiet moments between hunts, beneath the watchful eyes of the fig trees, their lives intersect, sometimes in conflict, sometimes in kinship, always in the shadow of survival. Beneath the golden haze of the Ugandan sun, the lions are rarely alone. All around them the savannah pulses with life, a vast interconnected community where every creature plays a part in the unfolding drama. Here the lions are apex predators, but never solitary rulers. Their fates are woven tightly with those of their neighbors. Buffalo herds graze in the open grasslands, their heavy bodies moving in deliberate unison. To the lions, a buffalo calf is a tempting prize, but the adults form a living shield, horns lowered and eyes keen. When lions approach, the herd responds as one, a wall of muscle that can turn hunter into hunted in a heartbeat. The balance is delicate. A misstep from either side can tip the scales from caution to chaos. Nearby, a dazzle of zebras shimmers in the heat, their stripes a living puzzle designed to confuse predators. The lions stalk from the shadows, but the zebra's vigilance is relentless, ears flicking, nostrils flaring at the faintest scent of danger. A single alarm call can send the whole herd fleeing, hooves drumming a warning across the plains. Warthogs root in the dust, ever wary of the pride's approach. Agile and quick they dash for their burrows at the first hint of threat, sometimes escaping by mere heartbeats. For the lions, these small but cunning neighbors offer both opportunity and frustration, a reminder that the savannah rewards not just strength, but adaptability. Even the smallest creatures play their part. Vultures spiral high above, eyes scanning for any sign of a kill. Their presence signals the aftermath of a lion's hunt, drawing in a host of scavengers, hyenas, jackals, and marabou storks, all eager to claim a share of the feast. What the lions leave behind becomes the lifeblood of many, ensuring that nothing in this ecosystem is wasted. At night, the chorus changes. Elephants move silently through the moonlit forests, reshaping the land as they go. Their sheer size commands respect, and even the lions yield to their passage. In their wake, new pathways open, waterholes deepen, and the savannah is subtly transformed, an ever-shifting stage for the daily struggles and triumphs of its inhabitants. In this intricate web of life, the lions are both hunters and participants, shaping and shaped by every encounter. Each species, prey, rival, or scavenger, holds a place in the grand design, their interactions echoing through the grasslands and woodlands alike. Here, survival is not a solitary achievement, but a collective endeavor written in the tracks and trails of all who call this place home. In the heart of the savannah, every lion's story begins with vulnerability. Hidden deep within the tall grasses or shaded thickets, a lioness gives birth to her cubs, small, blind, and utterly defenseless. For the first few weeks, these fragile lives remain concealed, their faint mewling masked by the rustle of the wind and the chorus of insects. The world beyond is a place of unseen danger, and only the watchful vigilance of their mother stands between them and the hungry eyes that roam the plains. Natural threats are everywhere. Hyenas, ever alert to opportunity, patrol the periphery, their noses twitching for the scent of new life. A moment's lapse, a mother drawn away to hunt, and the cub's hiding place could be discovered. Even the smallest predators, jackals, large birds of prey, or pythons, pose mortal risks. The odds are stark. In these early days, nearly half of all lion cubs may fall to predation, or the silent hand of disease. As the cubs grow, their world expands. They stumble from their den, learning to walk on unsteady legs, tumbling over roots and each other in play. But every game is a lesson. Wrestling with siblings hones their reflexes. Stalking insects teaches the basics of patience and pursuit. The savannah is both playground and classroom, each moment preparing them for the challenges that lie ahead. Hunger is a relentless tutor. When the pride returns from a hunt, cubs learn to elbow their way through the throng. The strongest feed first, while the weakest must wait or go hungry. This hierarchy is unforgiving, shaping the character and resilience of each future hunter. As months pass, the threats shift, but never vanish. Male lions from rival prides may invade, seeking to claim territory and drive away the resident males. In these violent upheavals, cubs sired by the previous rulers are often not spared. Survival now depends not just on the mother's devotion, but on the stability of the pride itself. Through it all, the cubs watch and imitate. They shadow their mothers on cautious forays, learning to read the wind, to move with silence, to freeze at the slightest hint of danger. Each lesson is written in the language of instinct and repetition, passed down across generations. For those that endure, the journey from helpless newborn to confident hunter is a gauntlet of trials. Only the most adaptable, the most resilient, and the most fortunate will see adulthood. In the endless cycle of birth and loss, each survivor carries forward the legacy of their ancestors, a testament to the unforgiving, wondrous challenge of life on the savannah.